I connected MiniMax M3 to Claude Code to cut down my coding bill. And then I had it build this entire website and generate all of the cover images and its own voiceover. And you can do all of that on the same $20 a month coding plan that gives you way more usage than my regular Claude plan does. But I can still use the same Claude Code coding harness to build all of this. I built everything that you're about to see in just a few minutes, and I only burned a few % of my tokens for the week. And I'll show you exactly how to set this up on Claude Code to use your MiniMax subscription. And for context, on my normal Claude subscription, I would have blown through my 5-hour limit before I even finished the homepage, and also don't have access to images as well as voiceover. So in this video, I'll show you exactly what MiniMax M3 can do, how to set it up inside Claude Code so that the whole experience feels identical to what you're already used to, and then we'll build a website and generate the images and the voiceovers all on the same plan. And then I'll show you a secret tip on how to make your designs look better. So I'm actually going to build the website twice. Once letting it design it completely on its own to see how MiniMax M3 designs websites, and then we'll build it another time with my own component library that I'm giving away for free, which is linked down in the description below as well. And for full transparency, MiniMax is sponsoring this video and they gave me access to the coding plan. But if you watch my other videos, you know that I don't hold back. I'll show you exactly where M3 is generally great, and I'll show you where it falls short. And one more thing to keep in mind, that MiniMax is constantly improving and shipping new models. So if the new model comes out, for example, if you're watching this in the future and M3 is not the newest model anymore, the same process that I'm showing you works exactly for your model as well. Before we set anything up, let's see how MiniMax performs on the benchmarks, and not just on MiniMax's own benchmarks. Because if you click on the link in the description to access MiniMax or go to the MiniMax homepage, you will see some of these graphs to see how MiniMax performs. And in general, it's a really good model. As you can see here, it's right up there with Anthropic, ChatGPT, and Gemini. And if we go to the independent benchmarks, we can see that it's right up there in the top 10 or 20 models, and it has an artificial analysis intelligence index of 45, which is generally good. However, where it really shines is with the cost and the performance. And this is what makes it a strong model, especially where you don't need the top level intelligence, but where you have something where the model needs to be smart enough. And in my opinion, it is smart enough for most tasks. But what makes this model great is actually this chart. And here you can see the artificial analysis intelligence index versus the cost per tasks. And you can see here that MiniMax is actually pretty cheap at 14 cents a task, while also having a high intelligence index. And to be fair, GPT 5.6 Luna on Max is cheaper and has a higher score. But the great thing about MiniMax M3 that's not in this chart is that it has a 1,000,000 token context limit, as well as it also includes image generation and voice generation all within the same token plan. So the real question is how cost conscious you are, what kind of tasks you're doing, and what matters the most in your day-to-day workflow. But that's enough with the benchmarks. Let me show you what it can do and how you can use the MiniMax subscription with Claude Code. So click on the link in the description if you want to follow along. And before we set up MiniMax M3 with Claude Code, I also want to mention that MiniMax Code has their own platform and their own coding harness. And you can download that with a link in the description below as well. You can also access the web version of this. In just a few minutes, I was able to create this cool fractal homepage that lets you visualize and play around with fractals. And I was actually positively surprised that it was able to do all of this on the first go. It pretty much lets you zoom infinitely into these fractals, and it's actually really fun to play around with. But I'm not here to cover MiniMax Code. If you want me to make another video on that, let me know down in the description below and I'll show you how to set that up. Now, you might be wondering why I'm actually using MiniMax within Claude Code. And I'm doing this because I think Claude Code is a great harness and I'm super familiar with it. I have certain commands and skills and my MCP connections, and pretty much my whole setup is built around using Claude Code effectively. So I love that I can plug in a different model into Claude Code that is more cost effective. Or if I'm running out of Claude credits, I can simply switch to MiniMax M3. So here's the whole setup. I've created a brand new folder on my desktop. So let me go back to my window here, open a new terminal folder at that location, and type in git init to start tracking any of the changes that we're making. And if you now type in Claude, you can see that we're currently running Opus 5, but this is actually not what we want. So in order to change this, let's exit out of this. So what we need to do now is to change the configuration to point at MiniMax. And the way to do this is actually pretty simple. And by the way, everything that I'm about to show you, you can follow along with the commands that I'm using as well as the simple instructions. I put all of them in this super comprehensive guide on how to run MiniMax M3 inside Claude Code or any MiniMax model. So if they're coming out with a newer model, you can also use the same playbook here. So there's two ways of pointing MiniMax at Claude Code. And the first one is by setting this up manually in Visual Studio Code. And the second one is to just use a terminal command. So I'm going to just use the terminal command. I'll go back here, type in this terminal command. And if I now type in Claude, we can now see that this is now using MiniMax MiniMax M3. And if the terminal is kind of intimidating, let me also show you the other way of how you can implement this. You can simply open this folder in Visual Studio Code or in any other IDE of your choice. And then once you're in this, you can create a new folder and call it .claude. And then you can create a new file and call it settings.local.json. And then you just paste in these configurations and we can see that we have these right here. The only thing that we need to change here is to paste in the MiniMax key right there. And this is a placeholder, but in order to get this, click on the link in the description and sign up for a new MiniMax account. As you can see here, I'm on the simple $20 a month monthly plus plan, and I'm going to copy this API key and paste it right here. I'm going to take this off the screen right now because the API key is sensitive, and save the file. Let me bring this back here. And now that the file is in there, I can also now install the Claude Code extension and enable this workspace. And we now have Claude Code with MiniMax enabled. So if we now ask Claude, what model are you? It should tell us that it is MiniMax M3. And there we go. It says it's MiniMax M3 developed by MiniMax. Or if you just want to stay in terminal, you can just ask Claude here, what model are you? And we already see that it's using MiniMax M3 at the 1 million context window. And it's confirming the same thing in the chat right here. Wonderful. I'm going to exit out of my terminal because I'm not going to be using this for much longer. I'm going to do everything out of Visual Studio Code. You can either follow along in Visual Studio Code or wherever you use Claude normally. One more thing that I wanted to mention in the settings file is this Claude Code compact window. And I've set this to 1 million tokens, but you can also shorten this if you wanted to compact before the 1 million token context limit. This mainly comes into play if you have large code bases. Now let's get to the exciting part and let's build a website. For the first build, I'm going to give it a simple prompt in order to build a website for me. And on the second try, I'll give it my own custom UI and UX to see if it can create a more beautiful design. And at the end, I'll reveal exactly how much of our token plan we actually used. I've been testing it for quite a bit now, and in the last 5 hours, I've been coding nonstop. And even with coding nonstop, I wasn't able to hit my limit. As we can see here, I've only used about 60% of my coding plan, and this is already resetting after the 5-hour limit. I'll wait for this to reset, and then I'll show you exactly how you can set this up and show you a few examples of building different websites, and we'll track how many tokens it will use. Now, to keep track of where we are, I'm starting at 9% token usage and 7% token usage for the weekly limit, and you can see on the left-hand side when these reset. Let's create a new Claude session and go over to our first prompt. But before that, let's create 2 new folders, one for the simple prompt and one for the more stylistic design with my own design library. For both of these, I will use this simple prompt and I will paste them in right here and hit enter. And at the same time that this is working, I will give it the exact same prompt, except that I'm pointing it at my GitHub repo, which has this glass UI design. And this is something I've custom built, and I want you to try it out if you want your design to have some glass elements in it. So check it out in the link in the description for free. And as you can see here, it has multiple different elements that allow you to modify exactly how you want the glass to behave. It has different elements to it to make it look super premium. And it has over 40 different components you can use out of the box without having to design them at all. So I'm going back to the second window and I'm just pasting in this exact prompt. Hit enter, and we'll have build these 2 websites for us. Now, while these websites are being built, let me share with you how you can get 2 really powerful things out of your MiniMax coding plan. And that is the image generation and the voiceover part. In order to test them out without the websites, let me just copy this simple prompt and paste it in here. And this is pretty much asking my MiniMax plan to create an image. Send that off. And at the same time, I'm going to ask it to also produce some speech. Send this off.
A few moments later.
Now let's check out the results. On the left-hand side, we can see that it generated the image called sunset.png. And if we click on it, we can see that it's located right here in our project folder. So once we click on it, we can see the sunset image that it generated. And this looks really good and realistic. And this is the local MiniMax image model. If you have any questions on how to use this effectively, simply go to the documentation for MiniMax and the image generation guide. But as you can see here, the images that it generates are realistic, and a great added benefit that this is all included within your token plan as well. But can it also create voiceovers? The answer is yes. Let's check it out. Here's our second chat, and it created the file called speech test mp3. So let's reveal this in Finder, put in my headphones, and listen to it.
Hi there. This is a test to see if this text-to-speech model is working.
It sure is. That is actually good. Let's listen to it one more time.
Hi there. This is a test to see if this text-to-speech model is working.
That is awesome. And if we want to change this to a male voice, we can simply reprompt it and ask. And by the way, in case you're curious, this is currently using the speech 2.8 HD model, and the image model that was used was the image 01 model. And here's the other voice.
Hi there. This is a test to see if this text-to-speech model is working.
And it kind of did have a pause here, but overall, this is really easy to use. So you might be wondering, why do you even care about this? There's other services that have text-to-speech or that have image generations. But if you have everything within one model, you don't need a separate subscription, and you can use all of these to make all of the products that you build so much better. For example, for image generation models, you can add images to your website or whatever you create with this coding model, and it's all natively integrated into your coding plan already. And same with the text-to-speech, you can simply now create a voiceover for every single blog post that you have, or add fun voice elements to your website or to your product and have it all be natively integrated with this text-to-speech model. Now to the big reveal, let's review the two websites that we just created. First, we'll review the one without any design direction, and then we'll check out the one with the liquid glass UI. We'll even check if there's some sound with the articles, and then we'll check how much we actually used of our plan. As we can see here, both of these websites finished building, and we have links to check them out on the local host. So here's the first website, and this is the one without any design direction. We notice in the top right corner that we have a light mode. This looks really clean. I actually like the light mode better than the dark mode, and the dark mode. We can see little subtabs, so we can go to research, field notes, or about. And if we click on these articles, we should be able to see all of these articles. We have the read time, we can see all of the text, and this is nicely formatted. This also looks good in dark mode. And we have hero images for all of these blocks. Let's check out another one. Everything is linked correctly. And let's see if this was able to generate the audio for the blog post. So let's give it a listen.
There is a particular feeling, common to anyone who has worked on a maturing technology, when the thing stops being a demo and starts being a feature.
That sounds really clean and is exactly the intro paragraph here. That is amazing. All right, to be a little bit critical, this design didn't blow me out of the water. I think it's good enough and decent, but it's not phenomenal. But overall, this was able to build a really solid website with a light theme, with a dark theme, and even with audio generation and cover images. So now let's see how the liquid glass UI stacks up and how many tokens we used. And this is the second one. This is the liquid glass UI, and we can automatically see we have a different rim, we have more interaction when we hover over it. We have a slightly different font and bigger boxes here, so that is very distinct. But if I look at this particular page right here, I think this looks much better on the liquid glass UI. I like the shimmer that we have on the stroke and the subtle interactions. Let's click on one of these blog posts, and I like the radius of the hero image here. Also like the button slightly better, but I don't like this particular font or the italic serif here. That could easily be changed. And then also the line on the side is an AI giveaway, but I think overall this looks really, really solid and very clean. It has a very premium feel to it, and it's just overall just very minimalistic but good. We can also now compare this with the light mode, and the light mode is a little bit too light for my taste on the background images, but the text has a good contrast, and then the boxes also look very clean. So all in all, I think this actually did a really good job. Let me know which one you like better, or if you want to see a comparison of this versus ChatGPT or versus Opus or versus Fable or any other model. But before I share a few more tips, let's review the usage. For that, let's click over here to the usage plan, and if we refresh this, we see that we used a total of 68% of our 5-hour limit, but we're only 13% in of our weekly limit. And keep in mind, we built 2 fully functioning websites, we generated a bunch of assets, a bunch of voiceovers, a bunch of blog posts, and the entire design element of both of these websites. In my experience on the $20 plan, you wouldn't even be able to build one of these websites with Fable or even with Opus on the $20 Anthropic plan. So the real question is, who's this model for and when do I use it? Based on the benchmarks, M3 is not on par with Claude Opus 5, Fable 5, or GPT 5.6 Soul. So I wouldn't use it for the hardest stuff. For really ambitious projects or high reasoning level that you might need, or if I want to create a beautifully designed front end, I would still use Claude. However, for most of the work that I do all day, I think it's close enough and the model is actually really strong and performs really well, especially in a MiniMax Code harness or in a Claude Code harness. In my opinion, it's close enough where the usage limits or the price do come into question. So for me, this model is a go-to for running agents where I just need something smart enough that doesn't cost a fortune. Frontier quality is great, but it's not always necessary. And I'm just a YouTuber, so subscribe to this channel and support me in whatever way you want. But paying hundreds or thousands of dollars a month in API costs is just not in the books for me right now. Because of that, I think MiniMax is a great alternative, especially in something like Claude Code. And it's just so much more efficient and effective. And the $20 subscription plan just gets you so much further. If you want to try it, the MiniMax links are in in the description and the pinned comment, and I've talked to them and they also included a 12% discount through my link. And by the way, the OpenGlass UI is free and open source, and it works with any coding agent, so you can use this exact design library for your own projects. And as I mentioned before, I put the whole setup, every single prompt and command down in the free Notion guide down below as well. So check that out and feel free to support the channel by liking, subscribing, or commenting if you liked the video. And if you didn't like the video, let me know too, so I can improve on that. If you have any questions about anything we've built so far or want me to cover a different topic, let me know as well. And I just finished another video on how to set up agent teams on Hermes, and MiniMax could actually be a really good plugin for that as well. So if you like this video, you might like that video next, and it's right here. And if you subscribed, I'll see you in the next one.